The Modern Age of Slavery are another band that started in the meanders of deathcore and then became something substantially different. Or at least that's how it's advertised. At first sight, or hearing, we can notice that yes, many of the expected elements appear here in a more controlled, or disguised way. We still have breakdowns, we still have the fat and chunky riffs, we still have that duality of arrangements, sometimes more electronic and sometimes more orchestral, and with a layer of modern death metal on top that may even appeal to fans of the genre. In theory, because in practice the distance from deathcore and its limitations as a genre are not so great. It is, however, an album that is listenable and doesn't cause as much boredom as any other deathcore proposal. And that's a good thing. The cover of Korn's Blind is also interesting enough.
Grave Pleasure's third album proves why the Finnish band has become a hit in recent times. Plague Boys starts right away with a hypnotic disintegration girl that will win over fans of gothic rock or post-punk, as they want to understand and define it. And after that it becomes quite easy to settle into this nostalgic trip through gothic rock through melodies and that carry such a strong imaginary that go from the beginnings of the cult to obvious references like Bauhaus, but that remain effective as if we had heard them for the first time. This will be the album gothic rock fans have been waiting for.
After a series of singles and EPs released under their own name, here comes the debut album For the Dust that brings us a rock that is as powerful in its content as it is profound in the way it brings together the alternative and traditional in equal measure, making this sound like an old friend we're meeting for the first time. Lyrically sharp, this is an album that is easy to listen to over and over again. The short length helps with that too. This Portuguese band will go far.
We've often talked here about the FM rock, hard rock melodic and AOR revival that Frontiers has been doing, creating and fostering a niche that has its market and its demand. And it would be easy to think that this cross-country driver would fit perfectly into that niche. And it does, but it's not what you'd expect. The proposal is solid, without resorting to nostalgia, good melodies, and great songs that were made for road trips, just like the designation of this project by Rob Lamont from Riverdogs, James Harper from Fighting Friday, and Xander Lamont from Logan Stats Band.
Holy Moses are one of the inescapable names of the rawest German thrash metal, bridging the gap between the classic elements of the genre and an approach to death metal that has been evident in their music for quite some time. For this alone, Invisible Queen would obviously be awaited. Having the indication that this will be the last album by Sabina Klassen in front of the band's microphone, the expectation is even greater. Which may lead to some disappointment, because what Holy Moses presents is what they have been doing recently. Thrash metal far from appealing at first, with intricate compositional solutions and where the guitars often embark on dissonant paths. And although it features many tracks where we can shake our heads with gusto, overall it is not an album worthy of the farewell after so many years of metal on top. Something fans might think after listening to Invisible Queen a few times.
From France, Rage Behind, who gives strong in groove and modern metal, with occasional passages by hardcore, mainly in the choruses. Even without being anything new, this is an interesting work that, liking strong riffs, some breakdowns in the aesthetics of hardcore, we are easily fascinated by it. We are curious about the future of the French band.
Narnia was a surprising band from the first moment. When power metal was breaking out all over the place, they came up with a sound that borrowed from neoclassical, but was much more melodic. Something that also helped to distinguish them from the rest was their Christian themes, this at a time when black metal was also at the pinnacle of popularity. More than 20 years later, the band releases their 9th independent album and shows that they are more powerful than ever. With a considerable increase in weight, but without ever leaving aside their message or melody. It's an album that may win over those who never took them very seriously, and that shows that the maturity they have achieved over the years has manifested itself in a set of solid themes.
For those who are afraid of the longevity and perpetuation of extreme music, we constantly have good bands arriving and ensuring that the legacy is well delivered. The most recent to arrive in this group are the Portuguese Elitium, who debut in the best way with Wrong, a powerful, albeit short, punch in the face of technical and merciless death metal. Only the duration turns out to be a handicap, but in these cases we have already learned that before we start complaining, just press play again. A clever balance between the more traditional and modern side make Wrong as refreshing as it is immediate. And if length really is an issue, the way they make the most of it shows that it's better not to have dead moments and fillers by keeping the intensity bar at maximum. That's exactly what happens.